Hello there students, I'm sure you all are ready by now for your classes because your routine have been given out to you earlier. In continuation of our previous class, that is the writing section, I have taken up the topic of formal invitation once again. Some of you might be wondering now why this topic is continuing for 2 consecutive classes. You will get to know this because in our previous class, we have learned only about how to write an invitation that is personal. I want you to keep this in your mind very clear that we are doing personal formal invitation because as I said, we have 2 types of formal invitation. One is personal and the other one is official. But if you have learned about the personal formal invitation, it is also as important to learn how to reply. Because when someone gives you an invitation, as we know, it is always polite and courteous to reply them back. Because without doing that, it would sound or it would appear impolite to the one who is inviting you. Okay? I've given you a format of how to write a formal invitation, formal personal invitation in the previous class, but we did not go into the details of how to write. This is a very simple example that I'm going to show you today. We will not focus on this for long, but unless you learn this, it will be difficult for you to go to the reply of an invitation. We have learned that host name should be here in our previous class. So now let's assume that Mr. Kenneth is holding his birthday party on the 26th of July. So this is the host, okay? Remember, Mr. Kenneth is the host and he wants to give a party. He wants to throw a party and invite his friends. So now he is sending out invitations personally and individually. What we normally see in the cards, in the invitation card, is we do not find the name of the guest, isn't it? We hardly find the name of the guest, but this time I am giving you the name of the guest too, so that you will know that even the name of the guest can fit in, because the normal cards that you see are always without names of guests. And I said this is optional yesterday. I want you to remember that this can be optional, but the other card you have already seen, so I'm giving you the other way of how to write an invitation. I'll read it out for all of us. Mr. Kenneth requests the pleasure of the company of Mr. Johnson. Okay, let's stop there for now. I've used the word requests. Remember, just a recap, okay? When we are writing an invitation, we have to make sure that we always use the simple present tense. I repeat, simple present tense, okay? And for simple present tense, if the subject, that is Mr. Kenneth, is singular, you can always use as here, adding as to the verb. But if I have, in case I wrote Mr. and Mrs. Kenneth, you cannot add as to the word request again, okay? Mr. Kenneth requests the pleasure of the company of Mr. Johnson. That is, the invitation is given out to a person called Mr. Johnson to his 16th birthday party. Whom does the word his refer here? Remember, it is not Johnson, but it is the host, Mr. Kenneth, okay? To his, as I've said, we have to use the third form of person or the third person every time. So that is the reason why Mr. Kenneth himself is writing the invitation, but he did not write, please come to my birthday party. Because according to the format given in our book and according to the rule of writing an invitation, it is always appropriate to use the third person. And that is the reason why, though Kenneth is writing, he is using the word his as if some other person is making the invite, okay? To his 16th birthday celebration. I've used the word 16 because majority of you, 80% of you who are listening to me right now are 16 years of age. Because by class 10, you are 15, 16 or 17. Some may even vary, but we will not be focusing on that. So, assuming the birthday is on 26th of July at Mulberry Lodge. Imagine that there is a lodge called the Mulberry Lodge and the time is 4 to 7 p.m. 4 to 7 p.m. Please make sure that you mention the time very clearly, because if your friends come after the celebration is over, that friend will not feel good, plus you also will not feel good. When you are expecting something and that person does not turn up, what do you feel? We all feel disappointed when you are expecting something, isn't it? So that is the reason why you have to give the timing very clearly. Or if you are going to have it for the whole day, you can say 9 to 9. It's up to you, but make sure that the timing is of equal importance to from the rest to the rest of the writing. And RSVP, we have discussed this. We will not be dwelling on this. That means to reply back. Reply if you please. Okay. And you can even give your contact number. That's what I said. But here I did not give the contact number because I want to let you assume that you are going to reply back in the form of writing. So today we will be learning about the replies to this formal invitation too. I want you to have a quick look at this format here. What you have to do is, of course, as usual, making the box is very important. When it comes to mark, this box alone will score you half mark. We have been discussing about this a lot of times in your other parts of writing too. And so first of all, you have to make the box, and then what you have to write is center of reply. That means the name. Here, Mr. Kenneth has made invitation to Mr. Johnson. So imagine that we are carrying forward the same invite. So you can write, Mr. Johnson expresses gratitude for invitation. This is the way that you should go. You also can use some other kinds of words, but I want to make it very simple and clear. So I've just used a very simple sentence and a short one too. When someone invites you, you have to be polite and accept it. And so these are some polite words that you can use. Mr. Johnson expresses his gratitude. You can also bring the word his, though I have not mentioned here. Expresses his gratitude. Now, Mr. Johnson himself is writing the reply again, but he is using the word his. Why? Because the rule tells us to use the third person. Okay? Expresses his gratitude for the invitation from Mr. Kenneth. You can write the name of the host again here. On the occasion or on his 16th birthday party. You have to the format is almost the same. You have to come in this manner. I repeat from the beginning. Mr. Johnson expresses his gratitude for the invitation from Mr. Kenneth on his 16th birthday party. And you can write at the end whether you will attend or not. You have to make it very clear. You can write, and is delighted to attend the party, or and is delighted to attend the celebration. If you are attending it, you have to give your word. Or even if you are not attending it, you can write, expresses his inability to attend the celebration, and you can even write the reason why. Because giving a blunt no reply to someone will also be impolite on our part. That person is considering you, counting on you as one person who is close to him or is special to him or her, and that is the reason why you got the invite. So it is your duty to reply back. And if you have a very unavoidable situation that is making you unable to attend the celebration, you have to make sure that you cite that reason too. And that reason should be a very valid one. If you are citing the reason, you cannot just write is unable to attend because he is feeling lazy or she is feeling lazy. Those kind of lame reasons will not be acceptable. I know none of you will write that reason, but if there are some reasons that you want to write, but if you feel that that is not a very valid reason, better not write it. Because that reason will just show how much you consider that friend, how much concern you have for that friend who has given you the invite. Okay, so you can write in this way, and this is how you have to go with the reply of personal formal invitation. I hope you are clear with this. And we do not know whether the question will ask for a reply or an invitation. So you have to be clear with this too. And the next is we have official invitation to, as mentioned earlier. But before that, I want you to have a quick look on how to write a personal formal invitation and also on how to write the reply. Because once you get it, it's almost the same with the official invitation too. And I'm repeating again, if you learn this, it is important for your life as well as for your marks in your exam. As students, I'm sure you all want to earn good marks. You all want to score good marks. It is not only the marks that you learn, but that is also equally important in your student's life. That is the reason why it is always very important. Even if you have a very good skill of writing, unless you follow the format, your writing skills may not apply much in this kind of writings. Please don't take me wrong there. It's always very important to have a good writing skill, but after possessing all the good qualities, all the good writing skills, if you don't follow the format, you may just end up getting 1 or 2 marks for a question which carries 4 or 5 marks. Okay, so this is the format, and the next we will be going on to official formal invitation. Okay, so in an official formal invitation, it will slightly differ from the personal invitation because as official, you know, it is usually the invitation sent to the officers or sent to a person of prominent profile. So you are inviting that person, him or her, not as a friend, not in personal terms, but as an organization, you are sending him the invite. What we usually see is we also invite great speakers, we also invite chief guests. These are some things which comes under the official invitation. Okay, the first thing that you have to write is receiver's name and address. In the earlier topic, it was only the name of the host. Here, it's vice versa. We are turning the receiver's name and address to the top here. If you are writing to the chief minister, you can write his name and also the address. Here, address cannot mean his personal residential address, but it has to be the official address. That means his office, his or her office where he is working. Because you are not inviting that person because he lives in a certain area or he lives in a certain village. It is because he is holding a position in the government, in the department, or in any organization. That is the reason why you have to know that when you write the name and address, you can write the concerned minister, the concerned officer, the director, or whoever, but you also have to give his official address. That means the office where he works. Okay. Now the next is the date. Okay, the date here will be the date on which you are writing the invite. It is not the date of the event. We will come to that later on. So when I say the date, it has to be the date on which you are writing this invitation. And salutation, you know, salutation can be dear sir, sir, or how you address that person, madam, maybe even Mr. You can use the salutation in that way, and the name of the society or organization. In our case, we can take the name of our school. Imagine that our school is celebrating, or the school education department of Nagaland is celebrating the 50th anniversary, or say Golden Jubilee, or any function that you can think of. So you can name the organization or name the society, the school. You can imagine of your school's name right now, and then after writing that, you have to mention the event or the occasion for which you are inviting that person. XYZ school of Peck district or of Parent district, you can write that is celebrating the 25th anniversary or the silver jubilee of the school. You can write in such a way on, then you can give the date here. I'm saying there will be 2 dates. The first will be the date of writing, and then the next date will be the date on the day that the celebration is going to be held. Okay, and so next comes the date of the celebration or the event. You can mention the time. As the previous one, time is also as important as that. Okay, and the venue where the celebration or the occasion is going to be held. And you remember, you are making an official invitation. So you have to use your languages properly. Decent, that is one very important point. It has to be very simple but understandable. And also you have to make sure that it is written in simple present tense. Okay, so those are some things that you need to remember. These details are very important. And the next is complementary clause. Here in letter writing we have already done what a complementary clause is. You have to make the complementary clause yours faithfully or yours sincerely. Here I want you to be reminded again that you will hear a lot of explanations, a different kind of explanation, but I am even advising you and requesting you to follow only what is given in the book. If you browse the internet, you will find a lot of different explanations of letter writing, of invitation, and so on. But whatever is prescribed by the board should be followed. So when you write a complementary clause, if you are using yours sincerely, that means you have to make a name here. Faithfully will be when you do not mention any name. I'm repeating this because there will be a time when you will be confused after browsing everything, or in this present day you have a lot of sources to learn, and in that way you might even be misguided. I'm not saying those are wrong, but I'm saying it is very important for you to follow the guideline given in the textbook. And as we are following a prescribed textbook, you have to keep that in your mind. If you want to write the complementary clause as yours sincerely, remember you have to use the name of the person whom you are inviting here. If you do not use any name and you are just using sir or madam, you can use yours faithfully. And the next thing is name, your name, and also the designation. If you are working as the secretary of the Students' Council, you can write that as your designation: Secretary, Students' Council, and name your school. That is how you go about it, okay? So it is, if you have learned the personal invitation well, now this has become easy. I'm sure by now you found things a little clearer. Before I wind up, I want to give you a quick recap of what we have just done now for the official invite. The first thing that you need to make is the box, as usual, receiver's name and address. And once again, I am repeating that this address should be official, the address of the office where this person, where the receiver is working. The next will be the date on which you are writing the invitation. The salutation will be dear sir, madam, or whatever you want to address this person. That is called the salutation. And then name of the society or organization. Here you can even use the name of your school, but you are not inviting as an individual. Remember, you are representing an organization or a society, so you have to name that. And also write the reason why you are inviting. You can say the School of Pinewood or Pinewood School Shillong is inviting you for the celebration of our Golden Jubilee, or in any way that you would like to present your sentence. And the next is the date, time, and venue. That means place, okay? Venue means place. And after that, you can write the complementary clause. Complementary clause, yours faithfully, yours sincerely, whatever you want to use. And then your name and the designation. You will not just be inviting as nobody here, because you can make an invitation only when you hold a prominent place in that particular society. You can mention that, okay? So I'm sure you are clear with this now, and it will be clearer when you go through your textbook again. So please make sure that you go to page number 90, 91, and 92 if you want to have a clearer understanding of this topic. And this is where we are going to stop. Thank you all so much.